Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're excited for today's episode here of Real Life Investing, where we're looking at real life examples of how people are investing in property, the challenges they meet, and how to overcome them. So let's dive in directly into today's subject, which is really how do we make money from property investing here in 2020. And in the end, it all comes down to how much money you're able to raise. The more money you raise, the more deals you'll be able to do. The more deals you'll be able to do, the more cash flow you'll have, or the more money you'll make from flips, and the quicker you're going to reach your goal. So really that's what it's about. It's about raising finance successfully. So I want to tell you a little story about a friend of mine who really, well, I say friend, it's actually a student of mine, but as those of you who are our students know, we quickly become friends. Hey Charlie, how you doing? See, good example right there. I definitely consider Charlie to be one of our friends now, although you are also one of our students. So good morning, Charlie. Thanks for being here. Thanks for always being involved. I appreciate it. And well, so this story is from one of our students who didn't really have any money at all in order to start investing. He actually took out a loan to join, to start his education, and he was able though to learn. He learned how to invest in property. We showed him the principles, the way to go about it, what you need to have in place. Oh, thank you, Helena. Thank you for that thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who's kind of getting active here. I always appreciate that. It makes this a lot more fun for me. But what happened was he didn't have a lot of money to start with, but he did have the knowledge because he'd been able to take the courses, and he was learning, and he was learning how to analyze markets, analyze deals, run the numbers, and he really knew everything he had to do from where he was to be able to build a successful property portfolio. So the only thing that was missing was the money, which, well, small problem, right? But what he did was he started going out and talking to his friends and family. So he started telling them about this journey he was on. I'm going to invest in property. I'm going to build my portfolio. I'm so excited. And, he started sharing this story. And but what happened was no one was interested. They're like, well, that's stupid. Why would you invest in property? That's idiotic. Just get a real job. When your family says that, it's horrible, isn't it? Well, why don't you get a real job? Well, he said, well, I got a job, but I'm going to become a property investor, and I'm going to have this future. And they're like, well, look, there's a reason why everyone retires at the age of 65, isn't there? He's like, yeah, because they don't know these things. He's like, no, because these things don't work. And so he got into these discussions over and over again, and he wasn't able to overcome them. And he didn't really know what to do, because if he couldn't get anyone to invest with him, he wouldn't be able to invest, and his dream would be over. And he spoke to everyone. He spoke to his friends, he spoke to his family, and he kept knocking his head against the wall in the same way over and over and over again. But what's so cool about what he did is that, and he's called Peter, so what's cool about what Peter did was that he went over and over again. And every time, though, he didn't just go out and do the same pitch again. What he did was he looked at what had they said, how had he presented himself to elicit that response, and what could he do differently in order to get a different response the next time. And then he tried it. So every time he was actually getting a little better. The problem was he didn't get good enough, so by the time he'd spoken to all his friends and family, he still didn't have anyone who wanted to invest. So he thought, okay, so how do I do this? What is their number one kind of complaint? And he realized there were two. There were two major complaints they had. The first was there was no faith in the process. They didn't trust that property investing could work, and it would bring them his dreams, So that was the first part. The second part, they didn't have any faith in him. And the reason why, it wasn't that he was untrustworthy or anything. I mean, it was his friend. They were his friends. But it was that they knew he'd never done property investing before, and all of a sudden he's coming out of nowhere going, I'm now a property investor, I know everything, I'm going to do this. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? No, you're not. You're just an average Joe. You're just like me. You're not different. Not better than me. Yes, people say. But So he realized that those two perceptions were what were keeping him away from being able to raise finance. And he realized he had two ways to go about it, and he actually used both. So I'm going to show you both of them, and this is what led to his future success. So he realized, okay, so I have to convince them that I know what I'm doing and that this process worked. And since they were friends and it was family, he would meet them continuously. And so what he did was, instead of going after them with logical arguments, he started telling stories. So what Peter would do every time he met them, he would kind of tell a story addressing one of these two beliefs or misconceptions or worries, whatever you want to call it. And so he would tell stories about, other people who had become financially free, people he'd met through our events, because we do, our advanced events where we bring together property investors from all over the world. And so he met investors there. And so when he met his friends, he would tell, I was at this meeting and I met this person and this was his journey, or this was her journey and this is what she did. And it's so cool. And this is the journey I'm on now. And so he started telling stories to overcome that belief, right? The second part was their trust in him. And so what he started doing again was telling stories about his journey, about like why he started getting interested in property investing, what prompted this. Also, what was it that kind of, what was it that came up? What did he learn? And he would share, and he would actually teach his friends and family through his stories of his own experiences so that they also could learn. So that was the first thing he did, and slowly started overcoming these kind of beliefs, and they started going, wow, you actually know what you're talking about. That's really impressive. And so you're saying that other people have succeeded? He's like, exactly. That's why I'm so excited. That's what I've been telling you. I'm like, that sounds cool. Well, let me know how it goes. And he said, no, but you're supposed to be investing with me. What do you mean how it goes? You are supposed to be the one who helps me make it go well. And so he still wasn't the whole way over. So then that's when he brought out the second strategy. And that was the belief a lot of people have is, if it's on the internet, it's for real, right? Right? I saw it online, so it's got to be real. I saw it on TV, I saw it on Facebook, I saw it on the internet. It's got to be true. And obviously that's a false belief, because anyone can post anything on the internet about anyone, and it can tell you it could be true, but it could not be, and you got to fact check, and that's where it gets so difficult. Because then you have to once you fact check, you got to fact check your sources, and you can be going on forever. So that's one of the problems, and it's a belief that people have, is that everything on the internet is true. So now he realized, well, he could control a little sliver of the internet, right? He has his social media profiles. So what he started doing was he started posting these stories he'd been telling his friends. So he would post, it could be a picture, and you'd not generally of the person, but maybe like a nice picture or a picture of himself, and a text telling the story, like, hey, I met this person there and she told me this story, and about her property journey. And then he would post videos or articles about his own journey. Like, hey, I just got off this coaching call with my mentor, and I learned this, and I learned that, and I learned the other thing. And so he would continuously be sharing these stories. And now when you put this together, like some of the best stories, what had the best effect was when he shared the stories of him actually doing something too. So it's like, hey, I just started my company. Look, here's my certificate. Yay. Or, hey, I just had a meeting with the sourcing agent, and what we did was we looked at deals. Here's one of my spreadsheets. Yay. And, you don't have to go, yay. I just felt like I was in Peter right there when I kind of showed that. It's very him. But that kind of showed people that, wow, things are happening. He's getting deals. And he would share even like, hey, I got this deal. It sucks. I'm not going to do it. And people would go like, oh, okay, so he doesn't say yes to everything. Well, that's good. He's doing his due diligence. And so over time, these two processes started working in conjunction, and these friends started saying, well, it looks like you actually know what you're doing. It looks like you're moving forward and other people are succeeding. Could I get involved somehow? Cha-ching. There he had it. Could I get involved somehow? Perfect. And what he did with those who maybe didn't ask that question, he would go like, hey, look, I got this deal. I'm looking for an investor. Do you know someone who would be interested? And, that actually attracted people to say, well, I might. It's me. And he started raising finance. And it took him like 6 months to prime the pump, as we say, to get people ready. But once they got ready, everyone started getting ready at once, and money started coming in, and he started doing deals, and that's when he exploded, because we'd helped him put together a really, really good team in the UK. So once he could plug in money to that, he just exploded. So that's really what I just want to give you that lesson. Like, you see what Peter did? He tried, he pitched, so he wasn't theoretically going, oh, why aren't people investing? No, he actually asked. He went out and he said, like, hey, I'm doing this. I want you to invest with me. And they would say, well, no. And so he would look at it and go, like, well, why? Okay, what's the belief I need to overcome? And then he would tell stories to overcome it. And he used the tools at his disposal to do it. It took 6 months, but then the money started to flow. So that's really what I want to leave you with, is do that. Tell your story, tell your journey, share your excitement. You could even share like some of these videos we're doing. I know you can't share this if you're watching it in the Facebook group, but I'm actually posting it on YouTube as well. So you can share this YouTube video on from our YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you can take a video like this or another video and you share it and go like, hey, look, and so we have a video that's like the 5 reasons to invest in property. Well, share that video and go like, hey, look, this is why I'm investing in property. This is why I'm so excited. And so you can use this as a resource, and so it doesn't always have to be you telling a story. You can be telling the story or you can using other people to tell your story for you. Isn't that exciting? So your kind of action step from this video is to, start putting it into play. I mean, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you'll get lots of videos like this that you can share to your channel. But the important thing is that you put it into play, that you start acting and making it happen, all right? So thank you so much for today, guys. Thank you everyone who got involved and commented. I always appreciate that. And I'll see you tomorrow.